Okay, so we are going to be doing the Geometry PAP Unit 1 review. We're going to start with number 1. Number 1 asks what kind of lines BC and FH are. BC is going to be this diagonal line through our points B and C. Remember, any two points make a line, whether or not there is a line drawn. Then we also have FH, which is down here. If you look at it, they are on different planes. They are definitely not parallel. They are not going to create a right angle, and they are actually never going to intersect. So our correct answer for number 1 is going to be D, skew. From there, in our next one, it says are B, E, and G coplanar. So we have point B, we have point E, and point G. Those three are going to be coplanar because remember, any 3 points make a plane. So yes, they are coplanar. All right, next one. This is a tricky one. So the next one asks which planes intersect at GH. So we have plane A, B, H. So A, B, and H, they're actually going to create a diagonal plane through this box. They're also going to use point G. So what is that diagonal plane? All right, and then we're going to have plane CGH. So I'm going to do that one in purple. Plane CGH is going to be this front side of the box that also uses point D. So if you look, both of those planes share the side GH. So A is going to be our correct answer. All right, moving on, we have number 4. Number 4 asks if G and B are collinear. So we have points G and B, and yes, they are going to be collinear because any 2 points make a line. All right. Then number 5, a line is going to be the intersection of 2 planes. So H. A point is the intersection of 2 lines. And opposite rays always form a straight line. So opposite rays are going to look like this. They share a common endpoint and they just go opposite directions. All right, number 8. So number 8 tells you that M is the midpoint of AB. So we're going to have a line. M is your midpoint of A and B. If M is our midpoint, that means that AM is congruent to MB. So AM is x squared minus 2x, and MB is 24. Since M is the midpoint, and we know that those are congruent, we're going to set those two parts equal to each other. All right, so x squared minus 2x equals 24. Since we have that x squared, we are going to have to factor. So to factor, we have to have it set equal to 0. So we're going to have x squared minus 2x minus 24 equals 0. Factoring these two numbers that multiply together to give you negative 24, add together to give you negative 2, we're going to have x minus 6 and x plus 4. Okay, remember our next step, we're going to have to set both of those equal to 0. Okay, then x is going to equal 6 and x is going to equal negative 4. Because this is talking about segment length, we do have to check to make sure that they are going to be positive answers. So that's what I'm going to use this calculator over here on the right for. So I'm going to start with plugging in x equals 6 into our length for AM. So we're going to have 6 squared minus 2 times 6. All right, and that gives us 24, which is perfect. Then we have to plug in negative 4 squared minus 2 times negative 4. And they both give us positive answers. So since they both plug in and give me positive answers, both of our x values are going to be valid answers. So we're going to have 6 and -4 as our answers here. All right, top of the second page. So number 9 says that OB bisects AOC. So that means that AOB and BOC are congruent. It says that AOB is 2x minus 3 and AOC is 6x minus 48. Okay, so what we're going to do, if we know that these two parts are equal, then BOC is also 2x minus 3. So when we combine those, we will have 4x minus 6 equals 6x minus 48. Then we'll subtract 4x from both sides. 2x minus 48 equals -6. Add 48 to both sides, and 2x is going to equal 42. Divide both sides by 2, and x is going to equal 21. The final step asks us to solve for BOC. So BOC is 2x minus 3. So we're going to plug 2 times 21 minus 3. So we're going to end up with 42 minus 3, which is 39. All right, over to number 10. Number 10 says that T is between S and U. So we have T is somewhere between S and U. Says that ST has a length of 24 and TU has a length of 13. It wants to know the total length of SU. We're just going to add those two pieces together. So 24 plus 13 is going to give us 37. All right, number 11 says that point B is between A and C. So again, we have our line. A, B is somewhere between A and C. It does not say midpoint and it does not say equally, so we don't know that those two parts are equal. But it tells us that AB is 17x plus 12 and that BC is 3x minus 5. It also tells us that the total length of AC is 127. So we're going to take our two parts, AB and BC, and we're going to add them together. 17x plus 12 plus 3x minus 5 equals 127. We'll combine our like terms. We'll have 17x and 3x, which will give us 20x. 12 minus 5 is a positive 7, 127. Subtract 7 from both sides, and we'll get 120. So our final x value is going to be 6. The last thing that we need to do is plug in 6 for both of our values. So we're going to have 17 times 6 plus 12, which I'm going to do on the calculator. So 17 times 6 plus 12 equals 114. And then BC is 3 times 6 minus 5. So we'll have 3 times 6 minus 5 for BC equals 13. All right, moving on to number 12. Number 12 says that angle MPR is 44. MPN is 4x plus 5, and NPR is 2x minus 3. So we have three parts, or two smaller angles are going to add up to our whole big angle. So we're going to have 4x plus 5 plus 2x minus 3, and we're going to set it equal to 44. We're going to combine our like terms. 4x and 2x is going to give us 6x. 5 minus 3 is a positive 2, and it all equals 44. Then we're going to subtract 2 from both sides, so we'll get 6x equals 42. Divide by 6, and x equals 7. From there, it wants us to find the angle MPN. So we're going to have 4 times 7 plus 5. So 4 times 7 plus 5, it's going to give us 33. Okay. All right, this next one's kind of tricky. So number 13, you have point A is located at -2, and this is point A. It says that point C is located at 12. It tells us that point B is 3/7 of the distance from A to C. So 3/7 of the distance from A, so starting at A towards C. So the first thing we have to do is find 3/7 of our total distance. Since we're going from -2 to +12, that has a total length of 14. So we're going to find what 3/7 of 14 is. So 7x equals 3 times 14, which is 42. So x is going to be 6. So 3/7 is 6. So we're going to move 6 spaces from -2. So from -2 plus 6, and our point B is going to be at 4. All right. So then we have number 14. It says that point B is our midpoint of DE. DB is x squared, and BE is 4x plus 5. Since B is the midpoint, we know that those two parts are equal to each other. So we're going to set x squared equal to 4x plus 5. Again, since we have our x squared, we are going to have to factor. And to factor, we have to have one side equal to 0. So we're going to subtract 4x and subtract 5 from both sides to get it equal to 0. Okay, then we have to find the factors of -5 that are going to add up to -4. So we're going to end up with x minus 5 and x plus 1. Set those both equal to 0. And we're going to get x equals a +5 and x equals a -1. Okay, again, we have to double check that when we plug these in, we are going to get some positive answers. Okay, if we plug 5 in, we're going to have 5 squared, and that's obviously going to be positive. And then we're going to have 4 times 5 plus 5, which is also positive. So 5 checks out, 5 is positive. Okay, now I'm going to plug in our -1. So we're going to have -1 squared, and that's just going to give us a +1. And then we have 4 times -1 plus 5, checking that answer as well. And again, we have a positive answer. So both of our answers are valid answers. Okay, down to number 15. It says the midpoint of AB has a coordinate of -2, 4. And that point A has a coordinate of 5, -2. It wants us to find the coordinate of the end point B. Okay, so -2, 4 is going to be our xm, ym, so our midpoint values, and point A is our x1, y1. So we're going to use our formula. X1 plus x2 over 2 equals xm. And our to find y, y1 plus y2 over 2 equals ym. So we're going to be plugging in points for our xm, and our ym to our ym. We're going to be solving for our missing values. So we're going to have x1 is 5 plus our unknown x over 2 equals our xm of -2. Multiply through both sides times 2. We'll have 5 plus x equals -4. Subtract 5, subtract 5, x equals a -9. Sorry for the small work. Then we're going to have y1 is -2 plus our unknown y over 2 equals our y midpoint, which is 4. We have to multiply both sides times 2. So -2 plus y equals 8. We're going to have to add 2 for both sides, so y equals 10. So our missing endpoint is -9, +10. Okay, the other way you can solve that one is by drawing your graph. If you do that, your midpoint is at -2, +4, and your point A is at 5, -2. So to get from A to your midpoint, you had to go up 6 and to the left 7. So from -2, 4, if you go up 6 and to the left 7, you're going to end up at -9, +10. All right, number 16. So it says that angle RCP is 5x plus 4, and TCS is 8x minus 71. These are vertical angles, so they are across the vertex from each other. So that means they have a congruent angle measure. So we're going to set these two equations equal to each other. Subtract 5x from both sides. We'll get 4 equals 3x minus 71. Add 71 to both sides. We'll have 3x equals 75. Divide by 3. X is 25. Main thing to remember here is that vertical angles are going to have a congruent angle measure. All right, number 17. 1 and 2 form a linear pair. Linear means 180. So that means angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 180. So we'll have 6x plus 11 plus 10x minus 7 equals 180. Combine our like terms, 6x and 10x. We'll have 16x. 10 minus 7 is 4. Subtract 4 from both sides, and 16x equals 176. Divide both sides by 16, and x equals 11. The last thing we have to do is plug it in. 10 times 11 minus 7. We'll do that on the calculator. 10 times 11 minus 7 gives us 103. All right, number 18. Your midpoint of AB is located at -20. B is located at -5. So the distance from -5 to -20 is a length of 15. So that means starting at -20, moving back 15 more, we're going to end up at -35. All right, number 19, we're just using our distance formula. So our distance formula, x2 minus x1 over 2 plus y2 minus y1. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean over 2, I meant squared. So x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So we're going to have 8 minus -2 squared plus -3 minus 5 squared. So then we're going to have 10 squared plus -8 squared. It's going to come out to be the square root of 164. So you can either give me that answer or you can do the square root of 164 and you'll get 12.81. All right, last one, finding the midpoint of AB. So we'll have x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. So we're going to have -2 plus 6 over 2, and 7 minus 3 over 2. -2 plus 6 is 4, and 7 minus 3 is 4, and that is going to reduce to 2, 2. All right, if you have any more questions, remember that I do have tutoring tomorrow morning before the test, so please come in and see me if you need anything.